Good afternoon. It's Lindsay. It is It is it's Monday, April 28th, 2025. And I want to do a video for the past couple days of things, just bizarre little things that have happened in the past couple days, because I haven't really had time. I've been so busy that I haven't had time to do a video. I've been extremely busy with chores and house repairs and just stuff that I've been really busy. Obviously, the fucking driving that I do, which is, a lot of that, I don't have to explain myself, it's just constantly busy. I feel like I never have time to even just sit and take a deep breath anymore. Okay, so yeah, the day before yesterday, today's Monday, was it Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. And this is all part of what I've talked about before, how whenever you expose narcissistic people and whatnot, how they keep doing smear campaigns against you to try to shame you or embarrass you and this kind of stuff that they do, because that's what they do whenever you expose them. And so this is an example, again, of what I'm talking about with that. And I don't even want to talk about this person. I don't want to bring up his name because I don't give a shit anymore. But since these people can't accept the fact that you rejected them or that you don't want to have anything to do with them, they will send out flying monkey people to gang stalk and who are basically doing the work of the narcissist. Now, since I don't know exactly who the fuck that person was, what he was really involved with, but I did have my suspicions all along, is that knowing that he was a fraud, a liar, a con, I'm not going to call him a fucking artist because he sure as a fuck isn't an artist, but a con man, a blatant con man, a liar, a manipulator, and somebody who was interested in me only for my finances. Because I can remember from the very beginning, all he wanted to know was how much money I had, how much money I had inherited when he found out, because as soon as my uncle or dad, Alan, passed away, I think he's my uncle or my father, I don't know for sure, whatever. As soon as he passed away, that's when that asshole shows up in my life, very persistent and pushy, okay? And that was back in, even before, whatever, it was like 2023. It's been a while that person came into my life. So, but very pushy and persistent. And I kept saying no, because in the very beginning, I knew that there was something off, that he was being very pushy and aggressive. In my mind, my intuition was already warning me. And I had blocked him on that phone that I had a long time ago, whatever phone number that was. I think it was still an 832. It was an 832-801-8894 number that I still had at that time, believe it or not. I still remember that phone number. I had him blocked because he kept contacting me on that Plenty of Fish, and I told him I'm not interested, and I blocked him. And then for whatever reason, I think I unblocked him, and then after the first conversation, I was like, this guy, there's something wrong. I could just feel that he was lying to me, and that he was being very pushy, and there was something I felt very uncomfortable. And I can remember that very clearly, and that was back in 2023 at some point, right after at the time when all this probate stuff was going on. So when I did finally agree to meet him, okay, and I'm only doing this for my own documentation purposes, okay, because it's important for me to say it the way I know it happened, the way I know what happened, because I can remember very vividly what happened. So I did agree to finally meet that man at Me Tierra restaurant in downtown, where he was very arrogant and touchy-feely, touching me, making me feel uncomfortable, a pervert, a typical fucking machista pervert, okay? Couldn't keep his hands off of me. And I was like, you're very forward, and it's making me uncomfortable, and he wouldn't stop doing that. And then he tried to get me to go to the motel, La Quinta, across the street, and I said, no, I'm not going with you to a motel, I just met you. What do you have in mind? So he was already trying to do that within the first time I met him. So clearly, I already knew that this guy saw me as some kind of an easy target, that I was vulnerable, that I had just lost a loved one, and that he wanted money. He was going to set me up. It was all set up from the beginning. Okay, so anyway, at some point I did agree to meet him at that La Quinta Inn, because he wanted to see me again the next day. I was like, okay, fine. So I ended up stupidly meeting him there And I remember the first time I met him in that stupid La Quinta hotel or motel, that there was a movie. I don't remember what movie it is because I don't watch movies that much. And I don't know, but I just remember slaves. Some black woman, they're whipping and being abusive towards a woman, a black woman who was a slave. And it was I was like, why do you want to watch this? And he wanted to watch, he was like wanting me to watch that. I was like, why? Why would you want to watch this horrible stuff? This woman being abused like that, sexually abused raped. And I didn't understand it, but I knew that there was something wrong with this man because I could see that he had an agenda and that he sees women as slaves and that he saw me as some kind of a slave. That's what went on in my head. Very first time I met, at the first encounter at that motel. And so now, and then after that, the whole thing just dragged on for a couple years, and I already knew that this guy was full of shit, that he was a liar, a fraud, and that he was probably still married, and he just wanted to know, because all he wanted to know was how much money I had. Every time I would have a conversation with the lawyer, Melinda Luna, and by the way, this man bragged about how he used to fucking dance at Luna nightclub or something, or Me Luna something or the other. So just ironically enough, the attorney ad litem's name was Melinda Luna in the case, the probate case, right? Isn't that kind of strange, or no? I guess another coincidence, right? Yeah, so, and then I was always eating those Luna bars, which I still like, the lemon Luna bars, which I've been eating for many years, those little snack protein bars. So, I mean, all this stuff, I know Luna is a common word. It's not like it's a very common, it means moon in Spanish, but all the little coincidences and synchronicities that were happening to me while I was getting involved with that man and while that probate thing was going on were indicative, warning me that this guy is a liar, he's after money, and he's going to exploit me, and he's got an agenda, and he's a liar. He's this con scammer. But for whatever reason, because of my curiosity and trying to get to know people and giving them a chance, I kept giving him chance after chance, letting him in my house, where the whole time, for the whole 2+ years, all he was doing was gathering information about me to try to shame me, to mock me, insult me, and exploit me in ways. And that's what the whole thing was about. And then, of course, he wanted to know all about my finances, and then he told me he wanted to invest in me and this, that, and the other, wanted to know how much money I had. But he didn't give a shit about me. It was just about what I had, my resources. That's all. So with narcissistic people like that, all they care about is what you can give, what they can extract from you, whether it be something sexually, because they'll try to use you, they'll try to fake a relationship with you to get into your head and your life and exploit you, but it's all fake. The whole thing was just a fucking scam. And anyway, so with that being said, I'm just saying that like all the strange stuff that has happened to me in the past couple years, the fact that I kept suspecting that jackass is involved with the police or some kind of fucking government agency because he was always wearing a uniform, acting like a fucking probation officer or something. It was really weird, like acting like a handler, like he had to control my life and insult me, my intelligence, my hair, my style, everything about me, okay? And it was just horrible abuse, psychological abuse. And me feeling like I was obligated. They make you feel obligated, like you owe them something, or that you're an indentured servant to these psychopathic, whatever the fuck they work for, sheriff's department or whatever. I don't know, but I know that this man was involved with stuff that had to probably do with drug dealing, prostitution rings, money laundering, and all that shit. And I already talked about how he supposedly works at some fucking Saks Fifth Avenue, which, if you don't understand this or not, I'll tell you right now, that's a fucking money laundering front for the Jewish drug cartels. Saks Fifth Avenue is among the many places that are notorious for money laundering, counterfeit money, and other things. And I can guarantee that. Just look it up, do your research, but I know that. So there's a bunch of shit. This guy was involved with a bunch of shady crap, thinking that I'm too dumb to figure it out. And then always putting me to the test, making me look stupid. I know this. I have a lot of education, okay? I'm not stupid. I spent time in the fucking criminology department at U of H. I spent a lot of time researching about gang stalking, about governments, about crime, about targeted individuals, about military weapons that they use, i.e. directed energy weapons, microwave weapons. I know about these things because I've educated myself for the past 20-something years about it, being a targeted individual. So I'm not as dumb as some people assume that I am. But they do think that because I'm quiet, because I'm antisocial, basically, and I'm maybe a little bit autistic, I don't know. But Asperger's, I've been labeled with so many fucking things that whatever. I don't really fucking care what people think about me. That doesn't, just because a person has been given some kind of diagnosis with that stupid DSM, whether it be depression, PTSD, bipolar, anxiety, whatever, that doesn't mean that the person is stupid. By far, by no means at all does it mean that a person is intellectually stupid. It just means that they, because of the way they think and the way they see things and their own perception of things and their own experiences, according to the DSM, they have to put you in a category, right? Because you have to conform to society. And if you don't, well, obviously you don't fit in, and so they're going to send the gang stalkers after you to monitor you. Because what's wrong with you? You're not like everybody else. You can't fit in. We don't like this. You're a threat. And anybody who's a threat to the government system, especially when you start blowing the whistle on corporate fraud and money laundering and fucking sex trafficking and drug trafficking and shit like I've done, brave enough to talk about it, then they're really gonna fuck with you and gang stalk you, which is meant to cause even more anxiety and paranoia and health problems that you didn't ever have before. But this is all part of the agenda to get the targeted individual to either A, commit suicide, or B, get killed by some kind of a strange accident. They'll try to cause accidents to get you killed, or to get you institutionalized permanently in a mental hospital without any support, without any family, which your family by this time, if you're a legit targeted person, you probably don't have any family. You're probably alone. You're probably or if you do have any family, they don't believe a word you say, and they're the people who fucking put you in it in the first place because of their lies over money, like what happened to me. The whole reason that they targeted me in the first place was all about financial reasons. That's the reason how I mostly became a targeted individual was, number one, having signed documents and forms a long time ago when I was young and naive and eager to work and, make money and all this stuff. And when I was young in my 20s, not knowing what exactly I was getting myself into because I didn't have the proper legal representation to help guide me through signing these kinds of contracts and whatnot. I didn't know. I was naive. And that was back when I was in my 20s and, a long time ago. But I'm just saying, yeah, I know I made a lot of mistakes, but I learned from them. And I learned that people are dishonest. I learned that people will exploit you. I learned that they'll steal your money, your identity, everything they can get their hands on if they think that you're not going to, call, and they try to keep you entrapped to make you feel obligated to their whatever it is, cult, because a lot of these organizations are cults. A lot of them are very cult. They behave as like cults do, such as AA is an example. Okay, so there's like a cult mentality, like with the police force, it's a cult mentality. You have your hierarchy of, so everything's a cult, especially bureaucratic agencies operate in that kind of cult mentality where there's always a superior and there's always a people who are inferior to the higher ups. Well, in my opinion, fuck that shit, because I don't believe in that crap. I believe in natural law. I don't believe in that fucking I have authority over you because I have, no, I don't believe in that. I really don't. I believe that there's a good reason why we have police for certain reasons, and yes, but at the same time, I don't believe that anybody has a right to control another human being because of the natural law. God's law does not allow another human being to control another person as far as your wishes, your desires, and your body. No, you don't have the right to do that. Nobody does, unless, but these fucking power trip hungry, narcissistic psychopaths wearing a fucking uniform, and just because they have a fucking gun or whatever, work for some fucking agency in the FBI, CIA, whatever the fuck it is, NSA, DHS, they think that they're so fucking smart and above everybody, they can go fucking bully everybody and use women as goddamn sex objects. Mostly women that they do that to torment. And I know that this goes on in the sheriff's departments, the police departments, and all that shit, the government crap. Yeah, it does. Because I've seen it. I've worked for the fucking government for years in these stupid situations, and I watch and pay close attention and listen. I'm always a quiet fucking observer in all these fucking jobs I've ever had. I never hardly talk to anybody. I just watch and listen and pay attention to all the stupid shit that these people do. Because they're cliques. They have to, be popular, fit in, laugh on cue. Because they are eager to fit in. They have to fit in, or they don't feel comfortable. People have to find a way to be accepted by others by fitting into a little mold. And if they step out of that little mold that you're supposed to be in, that little box, then that's when you become a targeted individual. Because you're not like the other people. You're not like those people. You can think critically and analyze in a way that's different from other people. And so therefore you're crazy, you're schizophrenic, you're delusional, you're this, you're that. Let them fucking label. Let them, because that's how they feel that they're able to justify for their abuses against you. When all you're doing is being a sovereign citizen, living your life, minding your own business, but they feel uncomfortable because you have the ability to perhaps influence others and get them to break out of the fucking mold that they might be too afraid to get out of because of years of abuse or systematic fucking shit that these agencies have. It's all just, that's how it is. That's what goes on. But so back to what happened though. So with that little tidbit being said about that little summary that I said, here's an example of whenever, because all that shit that happened with that asshole that I called him out for his stuff and started documenting and talking about on YouTube, of course he wants to get revenge and smear my name because I exposed him for all the shit that he put me through, all the trauma, the psychological stress, and the blackmailing, the emotional blackmailing, the harassment and stalking and the coercive abuse, sexual abuse. Yeah, so I talked about it because I'm not afraid to, because it happened to me. So then the other day, and I talked about how he's having a multiple affairs with various women, because he basically admitted to it, or I know that he was, and trying to get me jealous by triangulating me with these women from his job, or this, that, and the other, and it's like, oh God, get over yourself, please. So, and I talked about this one girl that he works with, who I know that whatever, some girl, he's all, some Victoria, right? Whatever. So a couple days ago on Saturday, I go to the grocery store at HEB. As I'm walking out the fucking store, right when I'm walking out the door, okay, and by the way, I have not given that narcissist my new phone number. I don't answer. I don't have anything to do with him anymore. The last time he came to my house, I ignored him. He was asking me to tell me he was going to pay my phone bill so that he could try to get my fucking phone number, and I just ignored him. You're not getting my fucking phone number. Fuck you. I didn't give him, I didn't answer the door. But so the next day, or a couple days later, when I went to the store on Saturday at HEB over there at McCreeless here in San Antonio, McCreeless in New Braunfels, I'm walking out the store, and there's a Mexican man, a Hispanic man, walking really fast to get in front of me with this t-shirt that said Victoria on the back of it. Some kind of a fluorescent green t-shirt that said Victoria, some company Victoria. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's just a coincidence, right? Probably not, because he was really trying to make sure that I saw him, and he was following me, really trying to get really close to me and making himself get really in my way, okay? That's what these people do. These narcissistic flying monkey gang stalkers will get in your fucking way to make sure that you see them, to try to convey some message that the narcissist is trying to shame you about or whatever it is. And see, that's an example of that. And so then I get to my car, and there's a car just like his. I don't know if it was him, probably not. But this was on Saturday. There's a car, same color as his and everything, as I'm going to my car, putting my things in my car, speeding by really fast, kind of like trying to be all incognito. I could not see who was driving. I don't know if it was a man or woman, but nonetheless, it was the same make, model, color of the fucking Ford Fusion blue car that he drove. Same looking car, same thing. Right there in the parking lot, driving really fast, right in front of me. Okay, another coincidence, right? Yeah, just another coincidence. And then there's a man, meanwhile, in his white truck in the parking lot looking at me on his phone laughing. Just watching me from a distance. I could see him looking at me, doing something on his phone and laughing. I could see that. So all that happened, and I was just like, and then I go to the Dollar Tree, and there's, as soon as I'm walking in the door, some blonde girl, I'm going in the Dollar Tree. She comes up right behind me, so I hold the door for her. She's like, thank you. And you could tell that she didn't fit in there. She was some actor or some kind of a fucking agent of some kind or something. She was like a poser, and I could tell these people are very obvious because she was in there trying to follow me around or document what I was doing. And she was following me around the store, and I was ignoring her. She started following me around. I was like, what the fuck do you want, Who are you? Some blonde girl with long blonde hair, about my, short in stature. And then I noticed she was in the register when I was checking out at the cash register. She was like a couple ones in front of me. She's just kind of looking around like she had never been to a dollar store before. Like, wow, like she was so shocked. So there's always all this, every time I go to the Dollar Tree, there's all this fucking street theater shit going on. And same with when I go to the UPS or the HEB. It's always that crap that they do. And so that happened on Saturday. And then more of this fucking gang stalking stuff at the gym happens. Like these people that are keeping tabs on me. And I talked about how it's usually blacks or stalking me or trying to whatever, and it's always some black man either right behind me on a machine or they try to make it, it's like you turn around, they're like staring at you, like in a weird way. It's uncomfortable, but that is what they do to me a lot to try to make me feel uneasy because they know that some of these people make me very uncomfortable, the way they look at you and the way just my history with what has happened to me with black men or blacks in general, how I have a mistrust of these people for various reasons, because I feel that most of them have done some horrible things to me in the past, and so therefore I'm just not very trusting towards them. And I just kind of try to, just not be too, just whatever. And so I said something about how that other black girl a couple of days ago ran into me and said some fucking comment in the morning at the gym. And so today at the gym, by the way, it's like a fucking kangaroo. It's like I feel like I'm being put on trial all the time, put to some test, right? Behavior test crap. Like I'm just watching these people do the shit that they do to try to see if I'm going to react. And a lot of times that's what they're doing, is trying to get me to react to what they're doing or get my attention. And I can see it from the corner of my eye. I don't have to look right at them, but I can see what they're doing and hear them. And I just ignore it. I'm not there to pay attention to all that fucking distraction shit. I'm there to focus on what I'm doing for my own health and reasons. Not paying attention to what these people are doing. I don't give a fuck. I'm not interested. I really don't care. Because they are very, like with black people, and a lot of black men, and you'll notice, because I've noticed this with blacks, women and men, they're very forward and direct. They're very much like they need to be the center of attention. I don't know if you've noticed that before, but in a lot of gyms, they really are very arrogant in the way that they are trying to some of them, they are just very obnoxious in their behavior as far as trying to get attention. Some of these men, and they are doing that today. A couple of these men that look like Jamaicans stoned out of their ass, like stoners with fucking dreadlocks, like trying to do all. It's like it's all an act. But see, I can see that they're acting. They're putting on an act to try to impress me or other people, and it just looks fucking stupid to me. Because it's like they're so eager for attention. These black, mostly aggressive black men, and go figure, their DNA is, that's how they are. That's what they have. Their fucking DNA is such that a lot of them behave in that kind of way. And you can call me a racist for saying that, But it is what it is. It's a biological, psychological fact that sometimes these people behave like that because it's the way their genetics are. What's wrong with me saying it for what it is? It is what it is. I see it every fucking day. I see it all the time for years. And I'm sure I'm not the only person who notices it, but I'm probably the only white bitch who's gonna fucking say anything about it without, fear of getting fucking beaten up in public by one of these people. Whatever. They are who they are. That's what they do. That's what some of them do. Okay. But the question is, why do they target me? I guess what I want to know, it's like, why are they so desperate for me to react is what I want to know. It's like, I see what they're doing, but I want to know why they target me so much. Years of this same kind of patterns of blacks doing that to me. Why me? What is it about me that they are so... I don't give a fuck if you don't like my altar about the Civil War and shit. Like, is it that? Yeah, big fucking deal. If they're gonna play that fucking race card game, go right the fuck ahead. Because I don't feel guilty for who I am or for my genetics or my upbringing. I don't, and you can't make me feel guilty about it for playing the fucking race card game. That the white entitled bitch and I'm a black. You can shove that shit down my face all fucking day and I'm not going to react, or try to get me to react in a way that feels it's not going to work, because I don't feel sorry for them. I don't feel pity for these people. I don't believe that people should be slaves, but don't fucking blame me for the fact that a lot of these people were slaves, their ancestors. I didn't come up with the fucking idea. You can fucking point the finger at the fucking Jews who did that. There's historical proof that the Jews are the ones who started the whole fucking slave trade. So whatever, blame me all the fuck you want, because I had ancestors in the goddamn American Revolution and Civil War. So what? So do a lot of people in this country in the South. So what? So we're all a bunch of Negroid-hating white racists. Some of us are, okay, bring it on, because I don't fucking care. Don't try to fucking guilt trip me for being who I am, is my message to you fucking gang-stalking, ill-educated people who do that. Grow up and get some fucking education, turn your fucking TVs off, and maybe you'll fucking learn something that they're not going to teach you in your fucking little public fucking classroom. You have to do the research yourself, believe it or not. Some of you are too dumb to figure that out. And don't get mad at me because I listen to educational things about things that I like to learn about. It's none of your fucking business. They don't have any right to be listening to what I'm listening to on my fucking MP3 player anyway. It's none of your fucking business. But they act like every little thing I do is there. It's none of your fucking business. I'm not a fucking public figure, so fuck you. I'm not running for some fucking political office. Fuck you. Mind your own fucking business, I don't give a fucking shit what you do, so get out of my fucking business. But I can't say that to people because I'll get killed, right? I'll fucking get killed if I say something like that. I have to contain myself and not say a word. Just ignore it. Everything, I have to ignore it as best I can. All the flying monkeys, all the fucking shit they do, to just ignore it. And so that woman who I made the comment about the other day, that black woman with these tattoos, she was there today on the treadmill with her boyfriend or husband, and I was like, okay, big deal. I was mad the other day. I don't know you, but you were being really rude. Today I saw her. I don't even fucking care. I don't have any, it's like, whatever. I'm just indifferent. I don't react. I don't care. It happened. What she did it. I was angry. But I just don't now. When she's there today, I just don't react at all. When she's at the treadmill, a few ones down from me, trying to kind of whisper about me, talking about me, seeing if I'm going to react, I just don't react. And I'm not going to. But they're trying to provoke me into reacting in a subtle way. I don't know her. I don't know her husband. She's got a lot of tattoos. She's a black woman. Okay, that much I know. Other than that, I don't know her. I don't know who these people are, but I suspect that they are gang stalkers or part of some kind of government something. This is what I suspect. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. Who knows? I don't talk. I just keep my mouth shut because I know that they're all watching. Most of these people are kind of like, you can tell when the same person for several days on a row gets next to you on the treadmill, you can tell that they're monitoring you, or I can tell. I'm not dumb. I'm there every fucking day almost. But I just ignore it. I'm not going to be rude. I'm not going to I just ignore. Don't pay attention to it. It's all you can do. And that elderly woman who was on the treadmill a couple days ago, the one who I did have a brief conversation with her. I guess this was like on Saturday morning or Sunday morning. Maybe it was Saturday morning. Not yesterday, because I didn't see her yesterday. I think it was Saturday morning that I had that brief conversation with this elderly senior citizen woman on the treadmill. She's there a lot, but she made a comment, said something like, "I run really fast." I said, "Well, thank you." I just said, "How?" I said, "I see you here all the time." And I said, "How long do you do that?" And she said, 30 minutes. And she said, "I'm 83 years old." And I said, "Oh, wow, you don't look it. You certainly don't look it." And I said, "That's great that you do that. Keep it up. That's wonderful." And she had on these tennis shoes that had like a star, like Texas flag, Lone Star looking tennis shoes. I remember these tennis shoes that she had on. So, I see her there a lot. I see the same people there. I don't have, most of these people, like I said, I don't even know them. I don't have a problem with most of them. I don't know them enough to even, but some people, when they gang stalk and try to do things, that can be a problem, because I don't like to be stalked or watched in ways that are meant to make me feel uncomfortable when they try to provoke you. That I don't like, and I don't think anybody does. So, anyway, at the gym today, that happened with that, nothing happened like that I noticed those things that happened, okay? And just weird things like this. I feel like so much of this stuff is like a setup in my life, because then I get home today, or I go straight, because I had a wig in the back of my car that I had to return to Amazon, this wig that I ordered. It was supposed to be. It's called. The brand is called Blonde Unicorn, and I have a ways back. I almost ordered from them, and I canceled it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it again. Let me see. I'll just order it. So I ordered it because it's gonna arrive fast, and it came in the mail yesterday, and it looked like it was not a human hair wig. It by no means at all. It was a very cheaply made wig that was overpriced. They didn't even look like the color that in the picture. And I'm not colorblind. It just didn't look like the picture. And I was like, you know what? It looks fake. It just doesn't. It might be for someone else, but I didn't think it was going to work for me. I didn't like it that much. I tried it on briefly, and I was like, no. It just feels too much like a heavy, too dense, too heavy for the gym, especially. I can't do that. It's too much. So I took it back. I returned it to the UPS today. And so it was in mind you that when I got it was in the back of my car all the time that I was in the parking lot at the gym today. And since they monitor somehow this fucking satellite surveillance or whatever, they monitor people in the parking lot and whatnot. I know this. And so I had that thing in the back of my car. I get to the gym, I do my workout, and then and I leave, and I go straight to I'm on the phone in the parking lot trying to get the fucking Amazon thing to work, because I couldn't get sometimes the internet service was so slow in the parking lot, I couldn't get my Wi-Fi to work. So it took me a good 15 minutes to finally log on to my Amazon app that I do have an Amazon app on my phone. It took me forever. So I finally was able to log on to there to get the return code. So I got that, and I drove straight to the UPS in the McCreeless Shopping Center by HEB. So I'm like, I just want to get home. I'm like, I don't fucking want to do this right now. I'm kind of tired. I want to go home and drink some water or eat something and get the fuck out of there. I just want to get in and get out, right? So I park my car. I get the unit thing out of the car. I'm going in there. And as soon as I'm going in there, there's a UPS man right in front of me who opens a door for me, or I help him open the door. And there's a fucking line, there's a long line, and as usual, it's like people are, well, where's the end of the line? It's like, whoa, okay, the end of the line is usually when you walk in the door, it's to the far left, that's where the end of the line is at the UPS. So I got to the end of the line, and I'm watching these people, and the UPS guy comes back in, he said, does anybody drive a red Mercedes? The lights are on or something, he said really loudly, and everybody just kind of looks around. And then I noticed this other woman to my far left who was in line. I was like, I recognize that lady from Gold's Gym on Goliad. I used to see her at the Gold's Gym quite often on the Gold's Gym. Not like I fucking know her, and I don't give a shit. I don't know her, but I noticed her. And as I was looking at her, I was like, okay, I recognize you. She had on sunglasses. Oh, I remember. She used to come in there all the time with her dog. She used to bring a dog with her inside the gym on Goliad. Gold's Gym on Goliad in Indian Trails. This woman, she had pulled back kind of brunette hair. She's probably in her, I don't know how old, maybe in her 50s or 60s. I do not know her age, but she would often be at the gym. So I saw her there. She was wearing like a gym outfit. I noticed her in line. And that's the only person I recognize. Like, I recognize her, but I'm not gonna like, hey, what's up? Like we're buddy. I don't even we're not friends. I don't know these people. Even if none of those people are my friends, as a matter of fact, from the fucking gym. But I recognized her nonetheless. But it's not like I know her. So she was there. And then in the door, and they're all just kind of looking at me. Like if I react to something, they all react. Like it's like any little thing I do, it's like it starts a trigger reaction with these people in there. And then this woman's phone goes off. Dermatologist appointment, really loud. This woman in front of me, who, she's like, her fucking phone goes off. Dermatology appointment, I'm like, oh my God, okay. Do we all have to fucking hear about it? So everybody just goes, it's like, and then a kid comes in with these pink fucking alligator fucking shoes, like the, flip-flops, and then the black people, the African-American couple with their fucking gold shoes and gold, all this accessories that are gold looking, and she's, looking around like, are you a private? I'm thinking, oh, look, it's another she's a private investigator or some government something? Are you, what, let me guess, what agency are you with? I can tell because with a lot of black women and black couples, you can tell that they work for the government by the way they behave. I can, at least. They give themselves away quite easily. They're not, they overdo it. Like some people, they overdo the accessories, and it's like they're way too, they I don't know how to describe it, but it's like they stand out too much. And when people try to stand out with all this gaudy stuff, when you're working for a government or agency or investigator, I don't know what the point is, but it's like they're just doing it for attention. It seems like they're not really. I mean, I just see the way a lot of people behave and the way they dress is so. It's like you're not. Are you using your mind, or are you just there to put on a fucking show? Are you actually? What are you doing? Because you can see that they're agents of some kind, stalkers. She was a fucking gang stalker. I can assure you, I can bet money that she was, because I know for a fact that these people were gang stalking in there, or she was, and her husband, whoever the hell her boyfriend, because they were certainly interested in what I was doing. And then, so then this woman walks in with her son, and I kind of started to giggle because of the way, and not at them, but he had on these, and I only giggled, not at him, but I was just kind of smiling at myself because it's like he had on headphones. And I'm like, that reminds me of myself. I like to wear headphones in the store and whatnot a lot. And I was like, I just kind of smiled in in a way that I was admiring him, because it's like, look, he likes to listen to music. He's a young guy. He looked like he may have been autistic or something, maybe. From what I don't know, but he had on his headphones. He was with his mother, and I was like, well, that's cool. He likes to listen to his music in headphones, and good, he's probably off in his own world of whatever, he seemed like he was very much in his own little world. Both of them did. This woman and her son, they looked very much like kind of like observers from a different planet or something. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but I could just see that they were like watching and observing, but they were very intuitive. They had skills that were very intuitive. They were intuitive. feel it. I could feel that about them, their presence. So that happened, and then I came back here, and that's it. And then but of course I got something in the mail from Social Security, once again saying that, you've been, you were whatever, this fucking Social Security shit. Yeah, they let me know once again that we have finished reviewing your supplemental security income claim we previously sent you, and it says that they didn't fucking previously send me anything, as a matter of fact, but it says, we have finished reviewing your supplemental security, and I should be regular Social Security, which I qualify for, but because of that fucking homoglow who won't give me my fucking credits for that fucking shit that I did, that fucking fraud company, I had a lot of problems with that, but I do have enough credits for regular work hours. And the only reason I'm bitching about this is because with my fucking mental diagnosis that they gave me, it's kind of hard to get a job. Like, most people are not going to hire somebody who's been diagnosed with schizophrenia and trauma. It's kind of difficult to get a regular job, if you know. That's why I'm trying to work for myself, because it's almost impossible to fit in with any fucking corporate environment with that kind of mental stigma, which I have severe anxiety and PTSD and depression and I guess fucking schizophrenia, if they say so. Well, yeah, I'm paranoid. I fucking hate the government. I feel like I'm being monitored and watched. So call it whatever the fuck you want. But that's who I am. We previously sent you a letter that you meet the medical requirements to receive SSI. We now find that you do not meet the non-medical rules. So yeah, I know no shit, but they put it in this kind of jargon vernacular that's a little bit confusing. It's a little bit confusing the way they word things. But in other words, I was approved because of my medical condition, right? But then first they approve me and tell me and ask me for my bank account information and all this shit, only to let me know that they need more information about the fact that I have an IRA that I inherited. Why the fuck, if a person inherits an IRA, I've been trying to get on this for years. Why would a decedent IRA disqualify me, which I can't touch that money anyway? There's severe penalties if I do. That I inherited it. Why is that why would that disqualify me for getting on SSI? What the fuck does it have to do with that? There's plenty of people who are on Social Security disability and SSI who have inheritances in trust funds or probably IRA accounts. I would bet that there are other people that got approved, but they have to make everything for me very difficult, a challenge, and then I have to prove myself, and then I have to do a fucking video about it. So it's always, let me play investigator role today. It's time for Lindsay to put on her little fucking investigator hat, because I tried to have a fucking business, my own LLC, to be a consultant, and that fucking went to shit in a handbag because of that fucking pressure from that fucking opportunist trying to steal my fucking money, my business ideas, and everything else. So everything that I do, legit try to do to make money, they fucking sabotage it. Some fucking gang stalker, some fucking government, somebody jealous, always fucks it up for me. Always tries to. But I keep on persisting. Everything I try to do, there's someone who tries to interfere. Whether it be in my own family, whether it be some fucking flying monkey gang stalker or handler who they send from the fucking government to handle me and exploit me or steal my fucking money or do whatever, harass me. There's always somebody or something that wants to ruin my path or try to hinder my growth. In my vision, I'm a visionary. I have visions. I've had them for a long time. And they cannot and will not take these away from me. I can continue to pursue what I'm going to pursue until I die, until I can no longer do it, and that's the way it's going to be. And they're not going to stop me. But they try. God knows they try to stop me from doing everything that I just to live. To pay the fucking bills. I have to pay my fucking bills, put gas in my car, put food on my table, just like everybody else. Okay, I don't live a life of luxury, whether you fucking think it or not. My fucking hair has all fallen out because of all the anxiety. They poison my fucking water, my food. They come into this house when I'm not here. And none of this stuff is okay. It's not okay to do that. They've stolen my identity, my inheritance. And I still get up every fucking day and put effort into what I'm doing. So fuck you people who tell me that I'm a loser and a failure. Fuck you. I'm not a fucking scripted fucking actor, some overpaid fucking idiot getting paid to do some fucking movie. Just because I'm not one of you doesn't mean I'm stupid and a loser, okay? So screw that shit. So that happened. I got that, ironically enough, that came in the mail today, the Social Security stuff. And then, here's what else I want to document, is I get an email from, look at this. The title of the email is, and it's from today, Stop Wasting Investigator Time on Manual Corporate Searches, from Open Corporates. And I don't remember, opencorporates.com. Okay, I'm not sure about why I got that today, but it was sent an hour ago. Or actually, was it sent an hour ago? No, it was sent today, sometime. I saw it over an hour ago, but it was sent. This was sent to me this morning. I got this email, and this thing, it's like it says, yeah, because I had registered my LLC and tried to do all that shit. Hi, Lindsay Baldwin. Manual corporate searches and ownership mapping have become a major bottleneck in fraud investigations. Oh, is that because I keep on fucking blowing the whistle on this fucking corporate shit, like that fucking crap that goes on at Saks Fifth Avenue, for example? Hint, hint. Major, and Gold's Gym, another one that I can tell you a bunch of shit that goes on there, but whatever, in places like that. Major bottleneck in fraud investigations. This creates real problems, higher labor costs, slower investigation times, more errors and misconnections. I don't fucking get, oh, really? Make connections with what fucking, in other words, let some suck a fucking dick to get a fucking connection or a job is what they're really trying to say when it comes to getting yeah, really. In other words, if you act like a fucking prostitute and kiss the ass of somebody to get a job and look like a fucking whore, then don't forget to mention that when it comes to the fucking police or fucking government jobs. Limited ability to catch complex fraud compliance risks. We put together an article with practical ways to solve the bottleneck. What the fuck, bottleneck? Investigators spend too much of their valuable time on boring, repetitive work. Manually searching business records. I don't fucking do that. Speak for your fucking selves, dumb fucks. I'm out there in the fucking real world every goddamn day. So fuck you. So you see, that came just more to insult me and make me fucking curious, to get me thinking. In other words, it's boring if you're not out there acting like a fucking whore and doing shit like sucking a dick. In other words, you're just a boring person if you're not sucking a fucking dick or being a fucking prostitute. And, that's how this fucking world really is. Looking like, as long as you look like a fucking 2-bit whore and act like a fucking dumb bitch, then okay. I get it. I'm not stupid. I'm not fucking retarded, okay? It's more shaming that they try to do to me. Because I don't play their fucking game and look the fucking part that you're supposed to. Fuck you all. Fuck you. Our mailing address is Open Corporates, Aston House, Cornwall Avenue, London, United Kingdom. Oh, and then they send me all this shit all the time about fucking Vice, that fucking Vice magazine. In other words, I'm not a fucking Vice cop. I don't give a fucking shit. And they kept sending me these goddamn fucking emails about, take these gummies to intensify your sexual appetite and take some what are the hemp gummies so that you can, all this crap that they try. See, basically, as I've reiterated, or let me reiterate, any of these government jobs, when you're past a certain age and you're a female and you've already fucking blown the whistle and you're a whistleblower and you've exposed their fucking corporate shit and their fucking perverted crap and all that, then all they want to do is spend the rest of their fucking time shaming you, humiliating you, degrading you, and making you feel like you have no value because you're not a little fucking 2-bit whore, that you don't look like and behave like a fucking typical prostitute does. Some overpaid little fucking honeypot bitch. And that's a reality. Karen Melton Stewart talks about that with her NSA whistleblowing. This is no secret. What goes on in these fucking government sheriff's departments, they're a bunch of fucking whores and fucking pimps, basically. Sex scandals, a bunch of fucking... that's what they do. That's what they do for fun. Okay, that's what they... And you don't believe me? Yeah, look into that some, and you'll see what I'm talking about. All the shit that these people do, because they're a bunch of sex addict, party animals, and drug addicts, and fucking poor. Most of these women are prostitutes, and the men are fucking coke addicts and sex addicts, making money, working for the fucking police as pimps and fucking drug dealers. Did I blow the whistle enough on that shit? Let that sink in for a while, for those of you who don't understand the way this bullshit works.